The Queen of England.
The Queen
Yes,
herself
yes.
gave the name Nerveless
Yeah,
Knox.
big circus fan. She loves the circus, and
Incredible.
yeah.
And I do too. It's a beautiful nostalgia. And it's like the big Fresno Fair. When I talk about, if you haven't been here in 10, 15, 20 years and you walk around,
Yeah.
everything looks very similar, but with a new facelift.
Yeah.
Beautiful, safe, clean, and great entertainment like with the Nerveless Knox brand.
Well, I call this a real fair. 4-H Club, Future Farmers of America, agriculture. That's what it represents. And then when you come in here and you see what they, like all the facades, the beautiful areas,
yes,
the flowers. It takes all year to produce something like this, just for 10, 12 days, right?
And you travel around different fairs. Yep. It is a very beautiful fair.
I've done every fair probably in North America. The Texas State Fair, Ohio State Fair, and this is one of the prettiest. It's I don't want to compare it because this has probably been around longer than Disneyland, but it's just like Disneyland.
You really come in. Yeah.
I think other fairs that I see that in my life I've worked, the Calgary Stampede, that's a big one, Texas State Fair, and Del Mar, all those, big, beautiful, wonderful fairs. Yeah.
Big ones. And Big Fresno Fair certainly owns the name Big Fresno Fair. They do it big.
Yeah, well, if you go to the History Museum behind the grandstand, you can really see the history and what it's all about, the Big Fresno Fair.
Yeah, and when he's talking about right behind the Paul Theater, the big main stage, there's the History Museum of the Big Fresno Fair right behind it. And then right next to it is the Fresno County History Museum, which is another incredible two-story of just incredible history from sports all the way through. Everybody that's made an impact here in Fresno County.
Neat stuff. Little go-karts. I mean, just all this. Wyatt Earp raced his horse in the track. It just tells you about the history. And then there's an aerial view from the early 1900s, and there's no houses around the track.
Nothing around the track.
You had mentioned Paul Anka and his connection with the circus. Back in 1969, Irving and Kenneth Feld bought the Ringling Brothers Circus.
Yeah.
And Irving Feld was Paul Anka's business manager.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So circus, rock and roll, it's all connected.
All tied together.
Yeah,
you talk about spectacles and putting on a circus and a show. And I remind John Alcar, the CEO of the Big Fresno Fair, one of the most exciting things to me in the history of the Big Fresno Fair is what the term train wreck.
Yeah.
They talk about two locomotives back in the day, and Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, they used to put on these big shows and spectacles where they would have two locomotives run into each other.
Yeah.
People would come out of the woodwork for it. And that happened here on the track. I don't know what year, but many years ago, those photographs, I think Pop Laval, a famous photographer in Fresno, had taken them. But these two locomotives would come towards each other, and then they would hit each other. But you can only imagine what speed they could get up to.
Oh, my gosh.
They couldn't get too fast. So William Soroyan came from the area, the famous poet. And William Soroyan wrote that it was a huge farce because when the trains touched each other, there was dynamite explosives to add to the theatrics. But the thousands that were here loved it.
Well, all the big rock stars, Kiss, you name it, it's all about theatrics.
Oh, yeah.
Explosions, you leave with, having a good time.
Exactly.
Yeah, Alice Cooper, all those shows. I just brought my son yesterday to the sequoia trees.
Oh, yeah,
and
the giant sequoias.
They were talking about when one spontaneously falls over, and it sounds like a train wreck. Sounds like the whole world just shatters.
Yeah, I can only imagine when one of them go down. But it's the first time you ever gone to the sequoias?
Yeah, it was. So I saw it my whole life, and then my son realized, hey, Dad, it's only an hour away. We can make it. Get up at 6 o'clock, be back for the 3:30 show. So we get there, and there's a black bear that's been there for 1,000,000 years. His family roaming around.
Yeah.
Then you get all these German tourists and Japanese tourists. Yeah. So the bear, they're getting too close. They're bothering him. He starts chasing everybody.
Oh, no.
So it's like, hey, get out of my house, man.
Yeah, get out of my house. You're in my house. You're going to be on the plate here pretty soon. It's crazy how, and I've seen that before with the tourists. They go, oh, look, like he's performing, like he's Mickey Mouse.
Right.
No, that's a real bear.
Yeah, that's a real bear.
He's going to eat.
And even in the circus, when my family came to America in '54, we left all the animals in Switzerland. So we've never produced animal shows, but I've seen it firsthand what it takes, like Gunther Gable Williams, they love their animals like their children, but they're very dangerous. Like the monkey.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous animal. The elephant.
Yeah.
You may think that, they do these tricks, but you turn your back on them and they'll get you.
They'll get you. Yeah, and an animal it's a wild animal.
Yeah.
There's a reason. There's a name in the front of it says wild animal.
That's right.
Yeah, and they will take care of themselves if they feel they're threatened or they're just tired today. So I miss the elephants in the circuits personally myself. I understand if not regulated right or watching but I know companies like Ringling Brothers, they took really good care of these animals.
Yes.
But they're now in a sanctuary. I think is great.
Yeah.
So the performing animals, I totally have respect for them, just as I do the horse racing.
Yeah, horse
they're
racing.
athletes on the track. They're the athlete.
It's funny we're on talk radio. For the past 43 years, I worked. He died in 1998. His name was Tommy Bartlett. He had the #1 radio show called Welcome Travelers.
Okay.
And if you were Jack Kennedy, anybody, Bob Hope, you went on in Chicago. You went on Tommy Bartlett's radio show.
Yeah.
Then he pioneered a show called the Tommy Bartlett Water Ski Show in Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin. So I grew up around him, and his voice and his showbiz.
And to be around that,
yeah.
And radio was showbiz.
That was showbiz. Yeah.
TV. Radio was where everybody got their start.
Yeah.
Jackie Gleason. Yeah, they made it big in the radio.
Yeah. They went from vaudeville. It almost like died overnight, and then they went to radio, and then they went to TV, and all that stuff.
Well, see, you're going full circle. You're doing the circus show, now you're on the radio. You get it all in.
And then one day, you say you want to do all these things, so you just stick to something that you're good at. So we're good. The Nerveless Knocks are good at producing live water ski stunt shows, which we're doing at the Georgia National Fair today. My daughter's managing that, and my wife is at America's oldest fair, Topsfield, Massachusetts.
Oh.
And she's doing her show over there. So, we split up at times.
Cover the bases, yeah. So your whole family's involved. Daughter, your wife, she does costuming.
Yeah, my wife is from a very famous Mexican circus family, the Flying Españas. And she came over to America with Ringling Brothers.
Yeah, that's where I know them from. They're famous in Ringling Brothers.
Ringling Brothers from Mexico. And Mexico has a big history with circus and culture over there. I love going to Mérida, Yucatan. That's where the famous Mexican singer Pedro Infante is from. And he died in '57, but he's got a mansion with a Olympic-sized pool shaped as a boot. But it's a hotel now, and I just love it. I go there, eat seafood at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's your break time.
Yeah, right.
Mike, what is your son's in the show too?
Yeah.
I have a feeling. How old's your son?
21. His name's Cyrus Knock, and just an amazing kid. He grew up around. So when he would see his mom and dad perform, 50 feet, 100 feet in the air, that was just like normal to him. So at 4 years old, he was already doing the Globe of Death motorcycle show. So we were practicing between shows, 1 o'clock show and the 4:30 show. And right after the 1 o'clock show at Tommy Bartlett's show in Wisconsin Dells, we'd put him in there. The audience wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
They wouldn't leave the grandstand. So our boss, Tom Deal, said, put him in the show.
Put him in the show. The boss says you put the kid in. So the whole family's involved. Yeah. So as you're traveling, you get to...
So through the years, a lot of people don't realize this, but the Shrine Circus is like 100 times bigger than Ringling. Because at any one time, there's 50 Shrine Circuses around America.
Oh, wow.
So the biggest Shrine Circus when I was a kid was in Busch Stadium. 60,000 people, 7 rings, and you would, after Ringling, they brought my father over from 54 to 57, but after that, you had all these independent acts, Carl Wallenda, Emmett Kelly, the Nerveless Knocks, Hugo Zucchini, the Human Cannonball.
So Emmett Kelly, he was with Shrine?
Oh, yeah. Well,
they bounced
usually
around.
when you were on Ringling, you came over, or they gave you a start, but Emmett Kelly, man, he was a big star, special events, Ringling Brothers Circus. In fact, my mother, Aurelia Knock, is a circus star, and Emmett Kelly's wife, Evie Kelly, they're friends in Sarasota. So you go to Sarasota, and there's a club called Show Folks Club, and everybody's in there. Nick Wallenda, whoever. I mean, it's just like we're one big family.
All still staying together, staying close-knit. And you work very close-knit. A lot of times your lives are in each other's hands.
Yeah.
So there's a brotherhood and a sisterhood that's very, very strong.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. Yes.
So the Big Fresno Fair, someone wants to come out and check it out. What's the first thing they need to do?
Well, look at your program, your itinerary,
Yeah.
and because there's a lot of things to do and see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a whole day of activity. So you want to come see us? We're right by the what do they call that? The diamond mines or something like that.
I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Where the gyms are.
The gems.
Angels, yeah. You can get inside to that, but also to the right of the entrance to the track.
The track.
To the racetrack
Yeah,
area.
yeah, right there. Video circuit, the circus, and then all the jockeys. Most of them are from Mexico.
Yeah.
And these guys are famous. They go from one track to the next. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
big time. I talk about it on the radio every day. My uncle was a quarter horse jockey for many years, and and he's still today. Everybody, I mentioned his name, Danny Cardoza. Anybody in the racing business goes, "Oh,
knows
Danny, yeah. Well, how'd you get your height?" Danny's a little bitty guy.
Right. Be little, but talk about a daredevil act. Those guys could break their neck at any time.
And I saw him go down on TV a couple times, but I think John Alkire described it the best. In quarter horse, it's like being attached to a rocket.
Yeah, that's
being
right.
Shot out of the gate, and that jockey better hold on. Because that horse is on the roll.
It's a trade. It's something you're. It's like Mario Andretti in a race car.
Yeah.
You know, you get used to that.
You get used to that adrenaline and that run and that race. Hey, well, Mike, thank you so much for being on the show. You got to go out and you got to take a look at the show. It's a big stunt show. Nerveless Knox and the Queen herself.
The Queen
gave the name Nerveless.
Gave us the name, and it was a perfect era because that was Joey Chitwood's Hell Drivers, Evel Knievel. They all started around the same time, see?
Yeah.
So you got to have a cool name.
It's a cool name, and she gave it to you. You guys lost it. Mike, thank you for being on the program. We have more to come live here at the Big Fresno Fair. We want to remind everybody, we just made our big announcement for the class of 2019's 40 under 40. Go to 40.com and take a look at the class of 2019. We'll be right back with more here at the Big Fresno Fair. Don't go away. Woody, we clear? All right, thank you.
Can you take a picture of us?
Yeah, I got a picture.
All right.
I'll check you in. Yeah. Oh.
So there's a great agent, Bill Hall from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And he's the agent that started the NBA halftime acts, variety acts.
Yeah.
And
on court.
Yeah. He was real good. You know, he knew how much. He was an agent for the Rolling Stones and the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show. Okay. So that night, my dad was actually the star of the show. Ed Sullivan flew out to Hialeah Racetrack, and they set up their big sway pole act. And everybody got $5,000. The Beatles, Mitzi Gaynor, and my dad. And I said, Dad, but the Beatles made millions the next day. Gee.
Yeah. Nothing compared to that. Yeah. They didn't even know. They ate that and drank that night.
Yeah, so Bill Hall over there at the Philadelphia Phillies Stadium, it was right next to the Spectrum. He would bring in the human kite flyer.
Yeah.
He'd come in, fly down to, home plate. And then he's the one who penned Carl Wallenda Skywalk, like in '72, and Carl Wallenda would put you can probably see it on YouTube, and he'd do his walk.
I remember.
And then then Carl Wallenda got good money for that.
Yeah, it was big news.
Big news.
Well, hey, thank you for being on the program. I'm going to come by and check out your show.
Wonderful.
I'm going to try to check it out tonight.
Okay.
And then we'll go say hi to you. You're on the pole, right?
Yeah, I'm on the pole. I'm the pirate.
You're the pirate on the pole. I'll make sure I say hi to you.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Thanks again, Mike. Thank you. Go Dodgers.
Yeah, I love it.
I love all the teams. I'm big baseball.
Tommy Lasorda fell over.
Oh, Tommy was the best, man.
So this is Linda Stoll. Stoll.
1 minute.
Linda, do you want to come on in?
Thank you. Oh, hi, puppy. Hi.
This is Lance.
You can put your feet on the deal there. Hi.
This is Bella.
Bella? Perfect, Bella.
We're hoping she barked, but she may not.
There, get your headset there. We're about 40 seconds away. 40 seconds will be.
Okay.
You can bring it down towards your mouth a little. The microphone, it'll come down. There you go. Bella. Hi, Bella. What type of dog is Bella?
A mix of everything.
Mix. Yeah, she's a little
Terrier
mix.
mix.
Terrier. Hi. Hi, Bella. We can't see her yet. Maybe tip it down a little.
Oh, you don't want to see me.
What is the puppy? She's hidden.
Yeah, look at the puppy, not me.
How old is he?
She is 1 year old.
She's 1 year.
She came in as a stray, and she is up for adoption.
Bella. She's cute.
You are listening to Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza, the behind-the-scenes story of the business shakers and movers in the Valley and beyond. Once again, here's Lance Cardoza.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Big Fresno Fair. It's 136th edition of the Big Fresno Fair, and the Fresno Fair is really known for their community and involved with every aspect of their community and making sure that they're making celebrating the wins of our Fresno County area and the community. And we have the SPCA. It's a long one. What is it? Central
California SPCA.
SPCA. And we have Bella. I'm so excited. Can I pet Bella?
Yes.
Hi, Bella. Hi, puppy.
She's a little bit nervous.
Oh, she's shy, yeah.
She's like, what is all this stuff?
And what is your title with?
I am the Volunteer and Education Services Manager at the SPCA.
SPCA. And I don't know if I mentioned your name, and your name is?
Linda Stoling.
Linda Stoling. I have so many people coming on the show that I meet them sometimes very first time when they put the headset on. And Linda, she's up for adoption. Bella
She certainly is. She certainly is, along with a lot of others. Bella is a year old. She's a terrier mix, and she is up for adoption. And we have a lot of special fair pricing for our dogs and our cats that are here. They're all ready to go straight home with you if someone does decide to adopt while here. They've all been fixed. They've all been microchipped. They have all of their vaccines up to that age. They are licensed. They also are dewormed, had a flea treatment, and they get a free vet visit in the first week after they own them. We've got a choice of vets that will honor that certificate to make sure that they are all nice and well. So
all
we have
comes with the adoption down here at the Big Fresno Fair.
Yes, and we have a couple of special ones with us right now. We do have Champ. Champ was in the news a couple of months ago.
Okay.
Champ was the one who was abandoned in a warehouse and tangled up in a net.
Yes.
You may remember that story.
Yes, I did.
Yes, so Champ is with us, and he's only $80. He's 3 years old. He's a Corgi mix. Unfortunately, Champ needs to go to a family as an only dog.
Yeah.
He doesn't get along with other animals, but he loves to play ball and he loves to walk. And we're really hoping that someone who meets those criteria will come along and adopt Champ while we're here at the fair.
Champ too. So Champ's over there, Bella's over there. Many dogs today, or?
Today we have about 7 dogs and we have about 10 cats as well. We have lots of options and we bring more every day. We've so far had about 30 adoptions, and our goal is 80.
The goal is 80 before the fair is over, and we got a little less than a week away. We wrap up on the 14th on Monday, so you want to make it, and we want to talk about where the booth is so they can go over to do that. But also want to let everybody know that's listening on 1680 AM that you can go to Talk Radio 1680 KGED on the Facebook. So go to Facebook at Talk Radio 1680 KGED, and you'll be able to see Bella. Bella's shy.
Yeah.
She's a shy little girl.
Well, we are located just inside the Butler entrance next to the junior exhibit building. And in addition to animals for adoption, we have information on our volunteer programs. We have children's programs, adult volunteers. Everyone can volunteer at the SPCA. Even people who are homebound have things they can do to help us. We have information on fostering. We have lots of pet information, and we offer some wonderful services most people don't know about. A low-cost vaccine clinic twice a month with the lowest prices pretty much in the whole valley.
Yeah.
We have information on where you can get low-cost spay-neuters. We have pet care information. We have lots of things for anybody who's lots of resources at the SPCA.
I do love that once somebody adopts an animal, and you were saying that their first vet visit, because a lot of times people don't think about that.
Right.
But it'd be good once you get into a new you're acclimating them to a new area, a new home, that you get them checked out and see how they're doing and be able to find a doctor that you can go back to, a veterinarian, to bring your pet.
Very
So
important.
I think that's a really good service that you guys are offering, that certificate. So when you do adopt and you come down to the big Fresno Fair and the CCSBCA, when you get your loved one and your fur baby and you bring them home, you have a free doctor's visit to the veterinarian of the choice on the certificate. I think that's great.
And you don't have to worry about having to pick them up right away. We don't leave with the animals. They do go back with us every evening. Between 7:30 and 8 p.m. is when we start packing up. So if you're here during the day, you can do the adoption, pay for the animal, reserve it. We'll hold it in our air-conditioned trailer for you, and you can pick them up on your way out.
On your way
So
out
you don't have to carry the animal around with you all day and still enjoy the fair.
Great. And then Linda, what your passion, how did you get involved with doing this as a volunteer? And
Oh, boy.
how did you start? What made you want to be a part of this and make a difference?
Well, actually, my background is in the hospitality industry,
Okay.
and I'm more the people person. So I have anywhere from 250 to 300 volunteers that I work with on an ongoing basis, and I oversee the education department. We do have a full-time humane educator who is also bilingual.
Okay.
We do free presentations in classrooms to clubs, organizations on almost any aspect having to do with animal welfare or animal issues. One that's really close to our heart is that we teach a lot of elementary school kids about how to stay safe around stray animals. It's called All Dogs Can Bite is the program. We have worked in partnership with Valley Children's Hospital on putting together a coloring book to help teach children how to stay safe around stray animals. There have been an increase in bites in the last few years, so we're trying to
just
take care of that.
educate youth to how to act around an animal.
Right, and additionally, in our education department, a goal of ours is to teach compassion. There have been some studies done at some universities showing that of the most violent criminals in prison, almost without exception, they started out abusing small animals.
Yeah.
And then they became bullies to small children and moved up, and it escalated through their lifetime. So we're hoping that we can break that cycle by teaching compassion in all of our classes to children in the Valley. And we try to target the low-income areas where there may not be as many resources in the elementary schools. So we do a lot of working with teachers and educators actually all through the county.
So how does, because I know it's probably a challenge, funding is always a challenge for organizations like yourself. How do you go about doing that? Do you have annual events that help support?
We do.
You get county funding too for?
No, we don't get county funding.
You don't get county, okay.
No, we currently, the animal control only, and the care of the animals taken in through animal control is financed by the city of Fresno.
Okay.
But all the rest of the operations at the SPC are funded by donations.
Donations,
yes.
Okay.
So we do take donations. Of course, we apply for grants. We have a couple of big events every year. In March, we have a golf tournament. That's called Dog Days at Airways.
Dog Days at Airways.
It's also a family fun day. So even if non-golfers can come out to Airways Golf Course on March 28th, and they can do some little putting competitions, and we have a lot of fun. It's a very casual tournament out at Airways. We have some big adoption events where we do get some large donations to help us offset costs during the holidays. We do our Home for the Holidays promotion. We do a Vets for Pets event we just had last month out at Simonian Farms.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So we have some other things going on, and the most exciting thing we have coming up is we'll soon be announcing information on a capital campaign. We are going to be remodeling our hospital building to become a high-volume spay-neuter clinic.
Oh.
So that we can do low-cost spay-neuters across the board. Right
Which
now,
is really needed, right? In our county?
extremely needed.
Yes.
Right now, we're very limited in our space, and so we have to really limit it to low-cost programs, and we have to get funding to help with that. So we are very excited to be able to do that, and we'll be announcing how people can participate in that very soon.
Very good. I'm watching Bella over here. If you're watching on Facebook, Bella likes to, she likes to stick her tongue out.
She's starting to calm down.
Yeah, she's coming down. I know she's letting her tongue hang out, and she was sticking her tongue out for a little bit there.
She
She's
was a
relaxed.
little bit nervous when
Hi,
we first
Bella.
got here. You
Hi,
want to
Bella.
say
It's
hi?
a little high. It's a little scary
Oops.
back here.
Whoa. I'm going
I think the microphone's hitting her.
Yeah.
So if you can watch on Facebook Live, you'll be able to see us here at Talk Radio 1680 KGED. We're right now with Linda with CCSBCA out here at the big Fresno Fair. If you want to come by and adopt a little Bella or get another animal, and the one animal, the corgi we're talking about, Champ.
Yeah.
And Champ, you remember in the news, was wrapped up in netting, and it was a real horrific, terrible
It was.
story, but Champ is doing well now.
Oh, Champ is very healthy right now. He loves long walks. He loves to play ball. He loves to chase a tennis ball.
Yeah.
He's a perfect size. He's 3 years old. He's just been wonderful. He just doesn't get along with other dogs. So we're really looking, if you're out there and you're looking for the perfect dog for a single dog family, Champ might be an option for
Champ's the one. He's a little corgi.
he's
you got to go by and
adorable.
check him out. Yeah, I got to
I would
go by
have brought
and take
him,
a look
but
at him.
he's a little heavy to hold in my lap.
He'd be all over the place. Yes. So Bella was the puppy of choice.
Yes.
Oh, Bella, you're a cutie. So you got to come by the Big Fresno Fair. Go by CCSBCA and be able to check out a possible pet that you might want to bring home to be a part of your family. And again, there's a lot involved when you're doing an adoption with the CCSBCA. And can you run through those one more time?
Sure.
What it would take if they come down, they find an animal, and you'll hold it in the air-conditioned unit till the end of their day. They can go ride the carnival rides. You don't have to worry about racing back home and then being trying to acclimate. You can have a good day at the fair and take your animal home. But what all is involved again? What do they get?
Okay, so we do have different pricing for different animals. So Champ is only $80. Bella here is $150. It has to do with, how long we've had them, treatment, things like that. But every adoption includes the animals are fixed, so they're spayed or neutered. They are all microchipped. They have all had their vaccines up to the age that they can have them. So they're 4 months old and older. They will also be licensed. They've had a flea treatment. They've been dewormed. And then you'll get that free vet visit. It's good for 7 days. We give you a certificate. And we've got a list of 15 to 20 vets to choose from that are, there's somebody close to everybody.
And then they get that certificate. So when you bring your animal home, then you can take them to the vet. You don't have to worry about that vet bill. They'll honor it, those list of vets.
Yeah. So what it is, it's a wellness check.
Wellness check, okay.
Because of the volume, I don't know if you know this, but we get an average of 60, 65 new animals every single day, just from the city limits of Fresno.
Yeah.
We took in an excess of 24,000 animals last year. So we just don't have the staff to be able to spend a lot of time doing in-depth wellness checks. So we do suggest that you take your new animals to the vet.
Yeah.
Make sure that there are no underlying things that we don't know about. And so it does cover the wellness part of the vet visit. Also gets you a chance to get to know one.
We're taking a short break. We'll be right back here at the Big Fresno Fair. Linda and Bella, thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate it. We'll be right back with more Business Leaders Live right here on Talk Radio 1680 KGED.
Yay.
Hey, Bella, you made it.
You did.
She's nervous. Thank you. No, she's a Schnauzer puppy.
Well, she probably has some Yorkie.
A little bit of Yorkie. Beautiful. Do you want her? You got to come down here. Come adopt her. Oh, you got to go by and try to get Bella. She's cute. She's a sweetheart. Oh, yeah. That's tomorrow night. Tower of Power and Bella.
My cheapy glasses.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Thank you so much.
Last year I lost my good glasses because I keep knocking them off. These are from the Fresno High School Career Fair.
Oh, yeah. Those you'll never lose. The real expensive ones you always lose. Yeah, I know. That's how it works. Bye, Bella. Bye-bye, puppy. No, you did great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hey, sweetie, let's go home. Let's go back to your kennel.
Oh, she's like, yes, I want to go. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Is that today's bulletin or that one today? Tuesday the 8th? That is today. Okay, I'm just making sure. Hey, Facebook, today is Tuesday the 8th, by the way. I just found out. Hey, David, do you want to readjust and I'll close out? Yeah. I'm going to make sure I share it here on the Facebook. I don't think I did that. We'll be going back on the radio here in just a moment, Facebook fans. Oh boy, I just read something funny. I'm gonna have to put it on the air. Facebook fans, you gotta stick with us here on 1680 AM. We'll be going live here in just a moment and wrapping up today's episode of Business Leaders Live. We have one more day, David, tomorrow. We're doing Business Leaders Live again tomorrow. I was talking to Guillermo. We'll be doing 11:30 to 12:30 for the final episode of Business Leaders Live. But you can always catch our show right here on Talk Radio 1680 KGED every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. where we bring you Business Leaders Live and business leaders throughout the valley and abroad. Here at the Big Fresno Fair all week, we've been bringing on the leaders of the Big Fresno Fair and some of our entertainers. We had Mike, which has a big lineage of stunt show work, and they have Pirates in the Sky here at the Big Fresno Fair. There's that and so much more happening, and you got to come out and check it out. We'll be going back to radio here in just a moment. Stay with us.
Giving you the inside story of business leaders in the Valley and beyond. This is Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Big Fresno Fair. Can you believe it? 136 years of this Big Fresno Fair, and we're back here in the Commerce Building right here at Talk Radio 1680 KGED. I'd like to thank my guest earlier in the program, Mike, with Nerveless Knox stunt shows, and the Queen of England gave them their company name Nerveless when his father had performed, and she said, you're nerveless, and that is how they got their company name. They're doing Pirates in the Sky. You got to check them out. Go to FresnoFair.com, and that's a show that is free with your admission when you're coming out here to the Big Fresno Fair. So you got to come out and take a look at that. So Pirates in the Sky, pretty cool. But there's a lot of big stuff happening at the Big Fresno Fair. Today's weather is beautiful out here at the Big Fresno Fair, a low of 57 and 90 degrees. We've been dealing with these triple-digit degrees, so 90 degrees here at the fair. It feels great, and it's just a beautiful time at the Big Fresno Fair. So you don't want to let a day go by and you haven't made it out here and checked out the Big Fresno Fair. I'd like to thank all my guests all week that really have helped with Business Leaders Live and really spiced it up. Last night I saw Will with country fair cinnamon rolls, and that cinnamon roll that has that frosting on it with the bacon on it, it's incredible. So Will at Country Fair, they have 3 locations. When you come out to the Big Fresno Fair, everybody always has their staple. They're either getting that foot-long corn dog, or they're going by and getting their cinnamon roll, or they're checking out Fabe's. There's treats that they have over there. There's all sorts of incredible stuff here at the Big Fresno Fair. Linda Hewlett had me MC the Big Fresno Food Fight this year, and in that food fight we got to see some of the best food presented here at the Big Fresno Fair. One of the hot items this year, and when I say hot Cheetos. David, you like hot Cheetos? David Suarez, producer over here, he likes hot Cheetos. He's nodding to hot Cheetos. But they do a corn dog with hot Cheetos in the batter, covered in cheese, And it's yeah, it's he's not too sure about it. At the time you eat it, it probably is great. Later, it might revisit you, but it sounds awesome and it looked incredible. But there was great food at the Big Fresno Food Fight. So next year, be looking out for that for the Big Fresno Fair Food Fight. And every year, you get to see some of the best food in the business here at the Big Fresno Fair. Also, community involvement with the Big Fresno Fair. We just had CCSBCA. Linda was on here, and she has over 300 volunteers that are constantly helping the animals at the CCSBCA, and they're adopting out here. And they got a great adoption program. You can come out and take a look at some of the animals. Champ, which was a corgi that was in the news here in the Central Valley, that unfortunately was wrapped up in netting and found in a warehouse, probably tortured and abused, and they took Champ out of that situation, and Champ is doing great, running like a champ, playing ball with a tennis ball like a champ, and is available for adoption. So come out and take a look at the animals at the CCSBCA. So there's a lot to do at the Big Fresno Fair. Today is Calviva Health Day, so it's half price. Tuesday, today, Calviva Health member card. It's all you have to show at the gate. When you're being able to buy your ticket, you get half off admission. That means adult admission at $6, then seniors, military, and children admission is just $4. So not the Calviva Health member. You can also join the Big Fresno Fair fan club and receive printable via email. So if you go to FresnoFair.com, deals and discounts, I believe, is what you click on. So go to FresnoFair.com and you click on deals and discounts, and then you'll be able to find out what day you're going to make it out here to the Big Fresno Fair. Don't miss it. Don't wait till the 14th on Monday. And you heard Willie Nelson did an incredible job at the Paw Paw Theater, and it's all over. And you won't be able to see the next Big Fresno Fair until the 137th edition of the Big Fresno Fair. So it's time to come out and enjoy the Big Fresno Fair. Also, cow milking demonstrations. A lot of people will go and look at the livestock area. And David, he loves it. He loves the cow milking demonstration. So I saw you over there, David. So today in the livestock barn area at 9 a.m., 11 a.m., and 5 p.m. is a cow milking demonstration. So if you haven't seen that before, David, did you grow up on a farm? Madera. Okay, so you had a lot of cows. A lot of cows in Madera. He's seen it. He's seen it. He's probably been involved with cow milking. So not today, though, right? Not today, David. So, so you hear me talking to David just off camera here. Guillermo, David, and also Jose doing a great job bringing us live from the Big Fresno Fair in the Commerce Building. And thank you for joining me here live every day from 11:30 to 12:30. Before the break, and I was reading the pamphlet, they give you a little fair fun facts. Cohen Communications does a great job communicating all the details here at the Big Fresno Fair, and I just held it up here on Talk Radio 1680 KGED's Facebook. And in their fair fun facts, they have the CEO, John Alkire, which I talk to him about all the time. And I failed to see this, but it's thought of the day. In the other ones, I didn't see it, but now I look at this one. And knowing John, here's a conversation that John Alkire had with his wife. He said, my wife said, "What you doing?" I said, "Nothing," she said. "You did that yesterday," I said. "I wasn't finished." So that's a conversation. That's the thought of the day from the CEO, John Alkire. So I'm going to have to take a closer look at these and be able to read his thought of the day. So it's always it's funny. Tonight, Paul Theater. We always look at the big entertainment. Last night I saw Paul Anka, and Paul did an incredible story. He did classics from Sinatra. So it's Anka sings Sinatra last night. It was the show. If you didn't see it, you missed it. It was really great. You got to go to FresnoFair.com and find out what shows are left, and if they have tickets available, you got to try to get them at FresnoFair.com and come out and enjoy a great show. Paul Anka was like, it was a throwback going into Vegas, and he was talking about stories of the Rack Pack and being around as a kid with Sinatra and Dean Martin, and how he met him the first time, and just great stories. Now, how much of them are true, we don't know, but they were entertaining, I'll tell you that. And he put on a great show last night. So Paul Anka sings Sinatra, Anka sings Sinatra. That was an incredible show at the Paul Theater. Tonight is a very interesting one. This one, we were talking to Lori King for the Big Fresno Fair yesterday, and she was talking about this guy's on the rise on the East Coast, and he's making his way in the music business bigger and bigger in the Big Fresno Fair, as they always do, bringing it a little bit bigger, a little bit better. A Boogie with the Hoodie is tonight. And that's, David, that's up your alley. I can tell. Cow milking, that didn't grab David, but a Boogie with a Hoodie is tonight at the Paul Paul Theater at 7 p.m. I'm not sure if tickets are still available, but you got to go to FresnoFair.com and find out if you're making your way out to a Boogie with a Hoodie. So I like that name, a Boogie with a Hoodie. So that's good stuff. I'm sure we'll see David out there. And also at 1 p.m. today, lads and ladies lead practice run through. So I'm not sure that's on their livestock area. So that you might want to check out in livestock. And then the competition, the Carol Bolley Memorial lads and ladies lead competition. So that's happening over in the livestock barn. There's a lot to do at the Big Fresno Fair, and you got to come out and experience it for yourself and find out what the little bit of nostalgia, if you've been here from the past, a little walk down memory lane, and you'll reignite those senses as you're here at the Big Fresno Fair, as it does for me every time I walk the fairgrounds and I'm a part of it. And I can't say it enough, but the leadership that Mr. Alcar and the Friends of the Fair in directing this fair every year, it's really a fun experience. And to be here last night was an incredible night of just strolling the fairgrounds and taking a look at everything it had to offer. This weekend, I'm sure it's going to be a real busy weekend, so you want to make it out during the weekdays, see where you want to go, and come back on the weekend and enjoy it. And this Sunday, I'm a little partial because Lucha Extreme is going to be here on Sunday. So my company, Lucha Extreme, will be on the pavilion stage, and we'll be bringing you some high-flying, big-time body slamming action with the Lucha masks and all the fun stuff in the Lucha ring there in the pavilion stage. And that's Sunday night. That's right. We got a rodeo. We have also the Mexican rodeo at the grandstands, the Brian Tatarian grandstands. That'll be happening out front. And a mariachi concert. I believe they're bringing mini mariachis back, what Linda Hewlett was saying. And that'll be at the Paul Paul Theater, and that's Sunday. But there's a lot to happen between now and then. So I believe Newsboys are here tomorrow, Newsboys United. So that's Wednesday night. We're wrapping up this edition of Business Leaders Live here on Talk Radio 1680 KGED. So you want to come out and don't miss a Boogie with a Hoodie. You got to see a Boogie with a Hoodie. It's going to be some fun stuff at the Big Fresno Fair. I'm really curious. I want to see this guy now and check it out. It's all happening here at the 136th edition of the Big Fresno Fair. That's all the time I have. You've been listening to Business Leaders Live right here in the Commerce Building at Talk Radio 1680 KGED's booth. And we'll talk to you tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Same place, same time for our final day of Business Leaders Live right here from the Big Fresno Fair. If you want to catch this episode and past episodes of Business Leaders Live, go to LanceCardoza.com. Thank you guys for joining me, and we'll talk to you tomorrow at 11:30. Have a great day. Be safe. All right. Thank you, Woody. Thank you, Facebook fans. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions about Big Fresno Fair, like I say, go to FresnoFair.com. You don't want to miss the Big Fresno Fair. Come out and check it out. Come by our booth at Talk Radio 1680 KGED. And I see family over there. There's Jeff Cardoza walking in the background. How are you doing, Jeff? He's blind. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later.